Hello everyone, this is NCH and welcome to my first animation tutorial series inside the source file. This series will take a look into some of my animations and show how everything is laid out and how some sequences are done and how I cheat in animation. I actually don't know how many I will cover all this, cause after 2 to 3 different animations you will start to see a pattern in how I do my stuff, so like all my tricks, cheats and techniques that I applied to my animations. But then we shall see how this series goes, unless you guys are that interested to see every source file in my animation. So the first one we will start with is, well, the first Undertale animation I did, Mettaton's transformation. Here is I've done this in Macromedia Flash 8. Everyone's been asking me what software, so all animations are done in Flash 8 since the past 10-15 years of my life. So yeah, so you can see there's lots of layers, and I will first run through I'll show you the external views, how the animation goes externally. So we'll play. So I'll try to stretch. As you can see, most of these are all frame by frame, but they are done in a more, not really true frame by frame drawing technique. I'll cover that more later on. Alright, so that's done. You can see that there's a lot of stuff going on, so I'll just cover every scene one by one. So starting okay, the groundwork, the time frame for this animation I spent was about 2 weeks. So I applied a lot of cheating techniques to hasten the animation process. So for this typewriting effect is basically the layer below here. Let's see, so this is the text layer. Actually above it are actually black out. It's actually a paint fill. You can see these are all paint, so I just shape twin. So if I should do an example, so I will copy, I'll do a timeline here. So basically it's just a black rectangle. I make a keyframe and I just scale the keyframe. Whoops. Alright, so shape twin, and you can see this is the effect. So this basically I'm doing a shape twin to replicate a typing effect for this text. And continue on. So starting, there will be this line will be covered. They'll be both covered with the paint overs. You can see they are both covered over. So the first line and then the second line shape twin. So this is how I do a very simple typewriter kind of effect without, you don't actually do the word by word effect that will take forever. So this is one method that I use. So mainly it should. So for this is a special case. I actually do a word by word, so it's more a bit a hassle. So they are all actually every paint block, paint layer over every word, so just appear like that. But the basic idea is just a text on the layer below it, and then I apply the covering. I just cover up the text, uncover them. Uncover. So you can see here is a lot of keyframing remove the text, so it's still a bit tedious, but it beats typing out stuff again and again. So for the animation below, for Mettaton, I actually draw them in parts, so that I don't actually redraw the parts at all. I just move them about. So this is more like, if I go inside, they are all actually in pieces, in groups. So if I go into this keyframe, I just move the groups, so I don't have to redraw them. I don't really do the twinning. It's more like frame by frame, but moving the parts. So for this, the transition of the arm, I will have to draw a new keyframe pose, but yeah, so it works, I guess. Alright, so like, it's actually a mixture of frame by frame and asset stuff. So for this, you have to draw a completely new pose, so this is unavoidable. So you draw in a new pose, and for this is a technique. I mean, it's not a real technique, it's just a cheating technique. I just flip over, so we just copy. I go from here, and I just do a swap, flip horizontal. So you see, except that I have to rewrite the switch, the word, because the words is opposite, so I have to do a flip. I actually have to write back the thing again, but yeah, it beats redrawing the whole frame again. So this is something that I do commonly. So like this is the same to this, and this is the same too. So you can see, but yet all these parts, they are still individuals. I just have to move the position. So a lot of these things are not redrawn, but drawn once, but just realign and reorder. So you can see for Freeze herself, it's just this image. I cut off her arm because you're not even going to see the arm on the other side, no legs. So there's some. So you can see there's some overlays here. I guess they are corrections because I made a mistake. What is this? Let's see. Yeah, these are just some of the edits I did to hide some of these imperfections, but I think it's unnecessary. If I'm not wrong, this should be a reverse of that. It's just a reverse. So let's see. So usually I like to do reversing. So to reverse, we just highlight the frames and reverse frames. See? Yeah, it's the same thing. So it's basically, that's what I did to save time in animation. So we move on. So the same technique, you just flip. Alright, so this is basically animation fundamentals, basic animation fundamentals, the anticipation, squash, stretch. So there's the frame of anticipation, so I leave it like 3 frames before the next keyframe, and then I draw a very wild distorted shape. Usually these are like smears, so this is like a smear, the flow of the directions, and then I snap back to the regular assets. So this is a regular, and this is purely hand drawn everything. So if you play it like that, you can see the transition and the 6K of them. Alright, so okay, so that's the sounds. The sounds are all here. They are imported through Flash. So I got all these sound files from the Undertier the sound resources. Alright, so maybe you can mute them. So for this part, this is more of like a just copy and paste, repetition of animation. So I just up down. I just copy and drag, replicate the keyframes like this. This is the top layer, bottom. So okay, so yeah, that was for the arm below it. It's not really necessary to split them too much. You can actually do all this in one layer, but I'm just not sure why I did that in 2 layers below. But well, sometimes I also not sure what I do. Yeah, so here is some wobble. So all the while, all these are still in parts, so it's just moving of parts. And this basically just every keyframe I just fill a color set a keyframe. Usually I work in 2 frames per keyframe, so it also saves, it saves down, cut down on frames to work on, but it still delivers the animation. So this is like a squash and stretch thing. So you can see the smooth is all frame by frame. Yeah, so it just frame by frame. So you can see it's another frame by frame sequence. So you just draw the triangle, white triangle, draw a perspective. You need to learn some perspective, shapes. So this is all freehand. I didn't really have any guidelines to this. And then leave some spacing. Timing is all about timing also. So from this part, it's a combination of graphic symbols, motion twinning with frame by frame. So inside here, okay, this is a graphic symbol. I think most of you guys, if you learn Flash, you'll cover this. The most basic thing in Flash you have to know about. In this symbol is a loop of Mettaton spinning. So I did a frame. I think this is a frame by frame drawing. It's not assets. It's all pure drawing. So I did a 360 rotation animation of this. Just that I cheated by flipping, copy and paste, flip over. They are all flip. Yeah. So it's usually you have to act smart, do the smart way, and to be efficient in animating. Because it's just you want to get the effect out fast, and don't have time. I cannot put too long. I cannot put too much time into one animation project, or else if it drags too long, I may lost the will to finish it. So yeah, so you can see the words. Okay, this is the words. The words inside here is just a flashing white and pink, two keyframes flashing in a graphic symbol. So I just twin that across the screen. The top are all the effects. So if you notice, this is actually the raw file of the effects. In the actual animation, all these are all very glowy, and all the whatever special effects, lighting and source, they are all applied in After Effects, which is done by Yuya Takeda. These are just the groundwork, the base for the post-production software to apply the glows. So yeah, it's actually very bland in the raw file. So for this, you can see this is also another effect. Another asset. Just draw. All these are actually still reused. I just reuse them, a lot of stuff. This effect, if you enter in here, it's the beam of light. It's actually a masking. You can hide this. Oops. You can see I'm actually okay for this effect. This is the animation. It's just a flashing thing, but to perform the coming out from Mettaton's screen, we have to animate the mask layer. So in this mask layer, you can see this green shape is the mask, which I shape twin it to move from here to here. So if we hide the mask, activate the mask, you can see that we get this effect of the beam coming out, but it's actually just the masking shape coming in and showing this strobing effect below it. So you can see this the effect it achieves this effect. And for the heart is also, it's just a symbol. Let's see. So yeah, the heart is more like a building of effect of keyframes. You can see all these are individual keyframes and they are all individual solids. if I'm not wrong, I've built the shapes first and then I break it apart so that I can fill in the color manually. But usually I'll just build the process is build up the effect and then go back again, choose some of the frames, break it apart and change the color. So get this like beeping, the flashing effects. So for here, they are all in a loop. So I also make a lot of these flashing loops, and they're all set like a different sequence. So the lighter part are set to play at frame 5, the other sequence is play at frame 3. So you can control from frame 5 onwards. Showing this, okay, actually it's like if I type frame 1, I change the order of sequence. So usually this is how you control graphic symbols. So that's it. So for this background, if you hide everything, this background is actually a movie clip. The effect was rendered by Skybase, and he gave me an MOV file of this space effect. So it's just actually an import. I didn't animate this physically, it was an imported video. So this is how you also save time effects. You just import resources from the internet, or maybe if your friend is able to do all this, partly ask them to help you out. Yeah. So we move on to the transformation sequence. So yeah. So all these are just shapes rotating, motion twinning. You can see I just draw part of the body. It's I think it's a frame by frame. It's a frame by frame sequence. Yes, I did this inside a symbol. So you can see these are drawn while the body is here. Inside it's like a mass of details. Like you can hide this. You can see the so-called the body comes out. The core comes out in the heart. So basically these 4 circles were the buttons earlier where they actually retreat back into the body, and they are inside the body. You can see them back in the body. It's a very little tiny detail that I don't think anybody picks up, but except for me. But yeah, this is how I explain where the buttons go. They go to the side of the body, and the heart container opens up, and the belt covers up, wraps around the waist. Yeah. So these are just basic flashes of light. So inside here is a twinkling sequence. So I just do once and just put them around. So if you check this frame by frame, it's just a collage of different symbols just playing out, adjusting some particles here and there. And for this is also particles. So it's basically I just do it once. So if in this sequence I will do the core animation once, and then I replicate. I'll just copy, make one new keyframe. Like say I'll put a blank keyframe here. I'll paste in place. Then I'll just rotate it. I'll just rotate somewhere here, so it will just go up a different way. So you can see I can rotate from here. So this is how I do the particle effects. You just do it once and just copy and paste and just rotate around. So they're all the same thing. So we exit. So you can see the layers starting to move all over the place. It's starting to get quite complicated, but this is how you have to do your stuff generally. You see the arms. This is actually a new asset for the motion twinning, because starting here, they are all mixed. So once I confirm the sequence is done, I will convert it into a symbol and start the new sequence. So this is a panning down shot. I hide everything. So yeah, this is just here, and I start another sequence. So you can see this is symbol 18, and then here will be symbol 20. So I usually always break them apart for new sequence. Every new sequence will be broken apart. So what's this? This is still the star field. So I'm just scaling up the star, making the star field appear. So we can see the sequence is actually all done inside. So within inside is the transformation part. So all these are just groups. They're all assets. I didn't really draw a gate frame by frame. I just moved the assets here and there. So there's this all done two frames per keyframe. You can see the morph it's more of, you can see how I morphed the shoulder blades. So the shoulders are actually like this. They are actually taken apart from the box shape. So from here, I made them all white. So you can see there's a change in shape suddenly. So see, from here, this is the anticipation. 3 frames anticipate, and then snap up and change. I'll redraw the actual shoulder blades, the shoulder armor, to something new and do a white effect. So it's a snap. It's like a morph. It's something like a morphing technique. So you can see your eyes won't pick up that I actually just switch to a different asset to show this transformation sequence. So yeah, so this is, and then you just add in more particle effects, more shine, more light, and Skybase will do even more to it. So you can, okay, so the next sequence, the chest, it's the same thing. So you can see it's just moving down this shape, moving down and just expanding this outwards. I usually just break them, but because all these I just group, I never really convert them to symbols, so it's based on how I do my stuff. So you can see these are just going down and just tweaking turning around the knots and stuff. It's a snap to have impact. It's like give it the lock, the force of the mechanism. So every time something comes out, so like every time something new comes out, there'll be flashes of white to signify something appearing. So while all this is doing, I'll be scaling down the size of it to do a pen. Text, if you see the text of this, these are just regular text. I just move them up and down to do the shaking effect. Boom. And then these are just cleaning out, just scaling up the text, flattening them. So for the legs are all, I think they're all frame by frame. So every time something comes out white, make them all white, give the impact. Again, shake them. It's always shake the assets around, give them some impact. The text appearing also frame by frame. And okay, so this part is another frame by frame drawing sequence. So you can see it's based on this first keyframe, and I just start drawing it. Yeah, you can see with the onion skin. So I just if I'm not wrong, this is actually also in parts. You can see, yeah, all these are drawn are all in parts, and I just redraw some sequences and reuse them. Of course, the butt the butt is redrawn. Yeah, and it's the same thing. It's just save time, you flip here and there, but just make sure that while you're flipping, non-symmetrical items should be where they are, or else there will be something wrong with the sequence. You gotta make sure, pay attention to this type of stuff, the minor details. So you can see it's not a perfect transition, because you see this body, or this frame, you can see there's something wrong with the sequence. I wasn't really paying attention, so yeah, it isn't a perfect frame drawing. But well, you can't really see because it's too fast. But until if you pay attention, then yeah, because I mean this sequence is like flowing in here and there. So yeah, so the final sequence, the head, so all this is still frame by frame, just drawings frame by frame, and the head appears here's one frame, so it starts with just one frame, and then the smear, so this is still the same. Yeah, so inside here we have the head appearing. So these I leave it about 4 frames onto 4 frames of hang time to show the smear, and then snap back to normal face. So this is the inside the eye. Yeah, so it's all, usually I separate the eye, the face, the facial details over the face. So you can see these are all separated, but I didn't really bother to convert them into symbols. I just do them, keyframe them. As long as they're grouped on their individual assets, it's not really an issue. But yeah, this is just my style. So the heads pop up. So you see you can. So and finally, this effect is just getting the silhouette, which is a very simple technique. You can easily do it by doing this. So you can take an asset out. Okay, we hide everything first. We're gonna use this layer. Okay, so we paste in frame, paste in place. So first off, we will break everything apart. So once we get the raw flattened image where everything is flattened, we will use this tool. It's called the ink bottle tool. We will choose just a different color. We can set it to, and then we just press the border. You can see now it draws out a red outline out of the character, around the character. So we just tap. Let's try to. Okay, so what happened just now is these lines are actually still raw line. They are still, how do we say that? They are still lines, so we have to break them apart. But how do we do that? We just select these two lines. We go to modify, shape, and convert lines to fill. I hotkey my convert lines to fill the control spacebar. So this I usually just press hit control spacebar. You have to set the hotkey on because there's no hotkey assigned to this. So this is my own custom hotkey. I just convert it to lines to fill. So when I do this, it will actually become a vector shape already. It loses the line property. So just fill it again. Do a border fill. Fill it so the red line wraps around the character. Then just highlight everything, select everything. And we cut, delete away, and we paste in place. So we get this outline silhouette. So this is how I do the outlining. I mean how I did the effect for the. You can see I move this away. So see, this is the result. So all these are just lines, line after line. You can see first, second, third, fourth, and all the way at the end. Yeah. So this is how I usually do how I usually extract out the line, the silhouette outline out of whatever assets I did. And then yeah, final sequence. And this is just the dance. The dance are all within a different. Oops, this is going. You can see it's just a symbol of different poses. So it's like I just do a different poses, a loop. just to replicate what in the in-game animation. So yeah, and this is how it's done. So for this final part, basically this character, and below is the shape. You can see the shape. I just scale the shape in coordinate with the motion thingy. So it looks like it's a white but yeah, it's actually just the shape covering the credits and the title stuff. Well, yeah, okay, and that's the end of my very first tutorial animation. I mean, the source file stuff. If you'd like to know more, I'll be looking into more of my animation files along the way, so I'll show you more techniques I do. So actually what I covered now is almost 60 to 70% of how I animate most of my stuff. So I'm not sure how long will this series go, but we shall see how it goes on. So give a like and subscribe, and maybe you can leave a comment asking me any more questions on what you want to know, and I will reply promptly. Yeah, and yes, thanks for watching and hearing me talk about this, and see you guys on the next Inside the Source File.